Peace, peace, peace. Send a shout out to all the fathers out there, man. All the brothers who have been holding it down for your family, man, for your children. It's a very noble thing to be a father, man, and I'm truly appreciative of my father. You know, yeah, truly appreciative, man. So I've been enjoying this day. Excuse me. It's a hot one. When they put in some work today, earlier today, man, with the garden, with my sons, my good brother Freddie. So shout out to GSC Community Gardens. But yo, I did want to speak a little bit about fatherhood, um, manhood, fatherhood, brotherhood, and how these things are weaved together. So yeah, in order to be a father, you have to be a man, and I'm not talking about just being able to have a child or produce a child um, that makes you a father. So if you are a father, that means you have to be a man. And so, how do you define what a man is uh, as it relates to Black people, Black men, African men? Everybody got their own definition of manhood. So, manhood is not some universal principle or idea or concept across the board. So, manhood amongst Asian people, amongst different groups of people, Europeans, um, it looks different. Now, of course, there might be some crossover on certain things, but manhood ain't the same across the board because the survival thrust for each group ain't the same. The issues that each group is different. So the type of manhood that's needed will call for different things to be included in that manhood. So, yeah, you know, manhood has to be governed by principles, some values, some standards, some. I'm sorry. It has to be governed by some principles, some values, some morals, a code of ethics. You know, there's some do's and don'ts as it relates to manhood. And so that will carry over into being a father, and what brotherhood is, so all of those things are intertwined. And I'm still learning myself how to be a better brother, how to be a better man, how to be a better father. Uh, and some of those keys and those jewels were not, I would say, up front, out in the open for us, those of us here in born in the United States as Black men. Um, there are things that we just didn't get. Like we had no formal rites of passage to make the transition from boyhood into manhood. So for a lot of us, that can look like a combination of different things, from sports you play basketball, your football, or baseball, or something like that, or it may came with getting a job and getting your license, and graduating. Like that was, part of that transition. Or, you start having sex, or you start smoking or drinking, or you joined a gang, a street organization, So some of those things end up being our rites of passage into what we think, or what we have been coaxed to believe is manhood. And, it's like you got to do this in order to survive. You got to do this in order to be a man. So you hear different stereotypes like men don't cry, men can't show no emotion other than anger, uh, you know, uh, peace, brothers. Peace. Happy Father's Day, happy Father's Day, man, to you brothers. I'm glad y'all tapped on, man. I'm just here building on a manhood, fatherhood, and brotherhood, and some of these notions behind what a man is, especially for us that were raised or born here in the United States, and how some of these things kind of hinder us from progressing and being able to link up as we need to as brothers. Um, we've been to a certain degree overpowered. So our manhood, a collective manhood, I'm not talking about your personal manhood. I'm talking about our collective manhood has been fractured to a certain degree. And so there are areas in which we need to be further developing ourselves, and there are areas where you can say, well, these areas are somewhere where we were pushed into. For example, the sports and entertainment, those type of things. Like we're gonna go hard, brothers going hard on that court, on that field. There's dollar signs attached to it. It may be an escape out of horrible living conditions, material living conditions, safety, those type of things. Entertainment folks rapping their butt off, whatever, to try to escape poverty. You know what I'm saying? You ain't rapping to deal with racism, white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't playing ball to deal with that. You're doing these things to primarily try to escape poverty, personally. Collectively as a group though, our manhood has to be able to challenge systems that don't serve us, to either go against this system or be in the process of developing systems that work to our benefit, if that makes sense. So, I did want to touch on that as far as manhood and how that leads to fatherhood. Again, you can't be a father if you're not a man. You can do what you want to with that. I'm just, so let me make a distinction. There is a difference between maleness, being a male, and being a man. See, all males aren't men, right? If we were talking about African manhood, maleness does not equate manhood. Age is not a signifier of manhood, all right? Uh, how many women you slept with, how much dope you sold, how many times you went to jail or prison, how many folk you done shot. Um, those are not agreed upon things that we as a community have developed to say this is what manhood is about. You understand what I'm saying? Um, Now, I'm not saying that there are some things that go along with some of that you can learn and potentially use in developing yourself, and because these experiences we go through can help to shape mold to say this is what we should do and this is what we shouldn't do, or this is the type of outcome that comes from doing these type of things. Here's the outcome from doing these type of things. Some of us have to go through these things in order to be able to teach others to say, hey, you know you can play your cards this way, and these are the type of outcomes that typically come when you roll that dice. You understand what I'm saying? So if you roll in the dice and you play certain type of games, you win certain types of prizes for the most part. you know on the flip side, you can look into brothers that have stood on the front lines for our people, our community, our race. And that also comes with a set of issues, struggles, triumphs. Like, you know, it ain't easy nowhere across the board. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're choosing this side or that side, like, we know it's tough on us as black men, as black people in this country. So that kind of leads into the brotherhood. You know, in the movie, uh, New Jack City, they had a saying that said, they say, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And they would respond, "Yes, I am." "Am I my brother's keeper?" "Yes, I am." We got to seriously ask ourselves, are we our brother's keeper? Are you your brother's keeper? You understand? And what does that really mean? Does that mean when we just talking about doing some dirt? When we talking about robbing? When we talking about hustling your own folk? You understand what I'm saying? When we talking about we finna ride on some folk that look like us for whatever reason, like, we keep that code of ethics amongst that type of activity, right? But when it comes to the struggle for liberation, for African sovereignty, are we our brother's keeper? Do we keep that same energy? I know brothers who was banging to the fullest in the streets, done all kinds of stuff, right? And so on the flip side, you get some information, some knowledge or whatever, and it's like you turn over a new leaf, but they won't go hard on this side of it, you know. And you can say, well, man, you can't blame them. Like, they didn't did all this. They probably got records. They probably got this. And true indeed, that definitely is a part of that type of struggle. You know what I'm saying? On the flip side, you get the same thing though. We got political prisoners that've been locked up since the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the 60s. So we got brothers that's been locked up, man, longer than some of us been on the planet, man. So we taking risk every day, but fighting for the liberation and sovereignty for our race, for our people, man. And I know you can say, well, all our people ain't on the same page. I'm talking about the ones who is on the page. That's what I'm talking about. Like, all the people in the streets ain't on the same page. We ain't all on the same page. And everybody that's claiming to be conscious, personally, like, I wouldn't. I mean, we all conscious of something. Whether you're in the streets, whether you prison, whatever. Like, we all conscious of something. We all got some level of awareness. We understand that something ain't right about the system that we live in. That's a fact. I don't care if you ain't read no books or not. Like, man, Stevie Wonder could see this. Ray Charles could see something was wrong with the system that we live in. So, you ain't got to be the most studious person. I'm not knocking studying, because we definitely need to study and fully and better understand where we are as a people, and then what's being promoted to us as a people, to try to work on our minds to make us think we somewhere where we ain't. You understand? Like, we done overcame. We here now. Oh, we still got some miles to climb, but we can kick back and put our feet up a little bit right now. There ain't no use for the struggle no more. There's no need for us to be organized. There's no need for us to do that type of work no more. Like Martin Luther King, them, Malcolm, them took care of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's far from the truth. They did their part. The baton has been passed. I charge you, black man, brother, fathers, men. It's not enough in 2024 to just say, I'm going to just take care of mine. In 2024, it don't work. You can't say that you a black man and just say, I'm just going to be accountable for mine. That ain't working for us. That's not even our way if you really think about it. You know what I'm saying? The Ubuntu is I am because we are. The African proverb says it takes a village to raise a child, right? I was nurtured and poured into by several strong black males, men growing up, father, uncles, grandfather, coaches, pastor, they're people that I can see that I can see this circle around me of manhood to let me understand, like, yeah, you got a role, you got a responsibility, not just you got to take care of your children, but we got to be out here in the community. We got to be visible. We got to put in work. We got to do this. We got to be a link in the chain to surround the rest of us, to surround our women, to surround our children, to surround our elders. So, hey, if you haven't done it as of today, tomorrow needs to be the start. Being an African man in 2024, time out is just saying, I'm just going to I just got to look out for me. That ain't working for us. That ain't working for us. It ain't. And you got to be an example for brothers who don't have that manhood, who wasn't raised with that manhood. They need to see that black men can be just, that black men can be honest, that black men can be responsible, that black men can be trustworthy and still be cool. Still have your swagger, still have you understand what I'm saying? But be serious about being who and what we are. Our young brothers need to see that. Our sons need to see that. Our women need to see it. Our elders, need to see that. Let me tell you a quick story real quick. So I was at the Juneteenth event here, put on by University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff and the city of Pine Bluff. So I did I had an interview with a television station, and I was leaving that. And so I'm walking down Main Street, man. I ran across a brother. Back in the day, I used to work in the grocery store as assistant manager in the grocery store. And this is an elder brother. He got to be at least, 15 years. I would say at least 15 years my senior up, right? So I see the brother. Y'all see how I look, right? I see this brother. He probably got me by 3-4 maybe 3 inches. So he taller than me, older brother though. I run up on him and say, "Hey, Peace, how you doing, brother?" He was like, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Man, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you." And then he said, "I'm glad that you spoke because I was going to walk right by you and not say nothing." He said, "Because I don't really speak to young folk no more." And it made me think, you know, my father has always been a man who is like he didn't know a stranger. He don't know a stranger. So, being out with my father, I always see my father. Hey, it's like, man, my daddy know everybody. It's like, no, he don't know I mean, my dad do know a lot of people, but my dad has always been, "Hey, how you doing?" But I'm just thinking this my dad. No, that's just those Africanisms coming out of who we are. Like we are communal people. And so when we speak and greet people, we extend that gratitude to them to open us up to be communal, to show some level of concern or care about your fellow brother, your fellow sister. We need that, right? So when this elder brother told me, he said, "I'm glad that you spoke to me because I don't really speak to young folk no more." Now I be 45 years old, so I ain't no spring chicken, you know what I'm saying? But he said, I said, "I get it, I understand. I know my appearance to some of my older brothers and sisters, elder brothers and sisters, it may look like I may look like the youngsters to a certain degree, um, and that's genetic. I got a little something, got a little grays down there, man. But anyway, yeah, the brother told me that, but I remember working in the grocery store, and one of my jobs was as assistant manager. I had to greet everybody, and I wasn't used to doing that, but I understood the premise behind doing it because, for one, making contact with shoppers is like I put a face. For one, I'm letting you know I see you. I acknowledge you coming into this store because, for one, you didn't have to come in here to shop. You know what I'm saying? Two is security reasons. Some people come in and they try to take what they want. So I'm putting eyes on you. I'm greeting you. I want you to have a good time while you in here. Enjoy your shopping experience. And so I'm going to greet you. Like, it's just, to me, common courtesy. That's how I was raised. So speaking to this elder, it kind of took the edge off of him for him to open up, to embrace me. And like I said, we don't just we just hang. We would used to hang out, but I would see this brother coming to the store. I always speak. I always greet him. "Peace, how you doing, brother? Peace, that's peace. How you doing, sister? How you doing?" So I lead with that, and I try to teach my children to do the same, man. Like we got to reestablish just those basic things to help us be more communal. That adds to who and what we are, So yeah, man, I just wanted to share that quick story, but yeah, fatherhood, brotherhood, manhood, they are intertwined. So one of the books, I'm gonna give you this shout, man. Plug. I got to plug a great brother. He's an elder to me in a sense. Baba Imhotep Fatu. He wrote a book called African Manhood in the 21st Century. It's a great book to help as a man talking about manhood development. I suggest you get that book. To help you on your journey. We did a book club with it here. We went through probably a good couple months reading this book, just studying and going over this book, having discussions about this book. Thinking about doing it again. It's 2 editions out, so get a chance to get that book. I'm working on. It's in the works. I ain't gonna talk too much about it, but I'm working on a fatherhood book for like new fathers, and we got some wise words for some elders too. So yeah, stay tuned for that, man. It's got a lot of more work coming though. So it's your brother Obafemi Kinsie Delele, MCE, GSC, Black Magic, 720 Sage, where y'all know what it is, man. Run out. Make sure y'all get a copy of my book. Every day is a Sunday. It's on Amazon right now. The ebook's available. Got an activity book. It's about Black homeschooling from an African-centered perspective. So, yeah, man, y'all tune in. Stay tuned. More music coming, more videos, more commentary. Nah, no, but feel me. Race first, a BB for Hodier, Black Power, Free the Lamb, I Hotel. All right, peace.